Good evening. Oh, thank you. Welcome to our elementary open house. I do want to whoa, if I wasn't awake, I am now. I do want to get started with a word of prayer, and then I have some interesting people that I would like you to meet, and then we'll go ahead and get started in all of our wonderful information that we're ready to give you this morning. So let's go ahead and start with a word of prayer. Father, thank you so much for this day. I thank you for Westwood Christian. I ask and pray that you bless each and every family that is here this year. I ask and pray that you bless their students, their children as they're here. Thank you for the 65 years that Westwood has been a light here in Miami. I ask and pray that you continue to bless Westwood and all of the people that work here to continue to be a light for you. Thank you for each of these families represented. For in your name I pray. Amen. So I do want to get started. I have Mr. Thompson here, and I do want to go ahead and bring him up and introduce him. He is the headmaster of our school, and I know that he has a few words that he would like to say to you this afternoon.
Thank you. You're good. Good evening. Good to see everyone. I'm still on South African time. My wife and I spent a little over 2 weeks in South Africa. Just got back about a week ago. But everything, actually, it's interesting. You know how there's kind of what do they call it? Cuban time, right? Well, it's interesting because even around the world, there's Cuban time in South Africa. But anyway, it is so good to see everyone here. Thank you, Mrs. Ross, for letting me just welcome everyone. We started on Friday, as you know, and then we were back today, and we're excited. I've been doing this now. This is my 32nd first day of school, so to speak. I just finished my 31st year at Westwood Christian School. Can't believe it's been that long, but it seems so fast. But let me just say this. Mrs. Ross and I were talking how Friday went so smooth, today went so smooth, and so we're a little nervous. We're waiting for something to happen, but not really. We know that, God is blessing Westwood Christian School in just an amazing way, and as Mrs. Ross has mentioned and will continue to mention, we are celebrating a special year this year. It's our 65th anniversary at Westwood Christian School. I guess they don't have it up there, but it's around plenty of places, so you can see that. And we just praise God for 65 years at Westwood Christian School. And I will just say a couple things and I'll be done. One of the many reasons why we are able to celebrate 65 years here at Westwood Christian School is because of many, many parents that have come, supportive and loving and encouraging parents that have come up through those 65 years to a group that is like yourselves tonight. What I mean by that is you guys are supportive. You're an encouraging group of parents, and we are so thankful. We do not take any one of you for granted. And I want you to know that we appreciate you. We thank you for your support and your choice in Westwood Christian School. And I know I can speak for Mrs. Ross and the teaching staff, which, by the way, we have an amazing teaching staff. I feel it's the best teaching staff in Miami, in Florida, in America, and I truly mean that. And so I thank God for our teaching staff. Yes, thank you. But I want to speak for Mrs. Ross and say that we are here for you. And if there's anything we can do tonight, tomorrow, and the rest of the school year, please let us know. We are a family at Westwood Christian School. And what does a family do? Our family loves each other. They support each other. They help each other. They encourage each other, and they pray for each other. So you pray for us. We'll pray for you and your families, and we'll take the best care possible for your children. And so thank you again for choosing Westwood Christian School. And may we just continue to ask God to bless Westwood Christian School and have a wonderful, wonderful orientation night tonight.
So, Mr. Thompson, you were waiting for something to happen. Our air just kicked off again in the building, but I know it's going to be fixed by tomorrow, just FYI. But if that's the worst that happened today, I think we're off to a good start. But I do want to acknowledge and have you guys meet our amazing teachers that Mr. Thompson was talking about. And I'm going to go ahead and ask them to please stand up as I call your grade. And then I'm going to let them happily get on their way because they have a lot of things to get prepared for you guys before you get over to them. So I would like to have my kindergarten crew stand up first. Mrs. Cabral, Mrs. Montegudo, and Mrs. Patino. My first grade crew, Mrs. Golindano, Mrs. McVeigh, and Ms. Perez. Fun fact, Ms. Perez got engaged on Friday. So she had an amazing first day of school. Then we have second grade, Mrs. Fullerton and Mrs. Boza. My third grade, Ms. Sablon and Ms. Pickard. Fourth grade, Mrs. Broadfield and Mrs. Ruiz. Fifth grade, Mrs. Roque and Ms. Thompson. And then is the amazing Miss Sardui here? Where is she? There's our amazing Miss Sardui for the library. And where is Mrs. Rodriguez? There she is. So that makes up our amazing teaching staff here in the elementary. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go ahead and escape. And I'm going to have Mrs. Broadfield come up here because she's going to talk to you about facts. You're going to start receiving emails from her in the upcoming week or so regarding facts competition. And we just want to put a name to the face. So Mrs. Broadfield.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Yes, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Mrs. Broadfield. I'm going to be your facts coordinator for this year. Your facts is a competition that we do here at Westwood Christian School. For those of you who are unaware, we start down in first grade and go through the fifth grade when it comes to elementary. Now, we have many different types of competitions. The first one that you're going to be hearing from me is about spelling bee. Now, when it comes to spelling bee, we have first through fifth grade that will all be eligible in order to continue on to the state level, but that is not the case for all of them. For some of the competitions, such as speech and music and art, we only do state level for third through fifth grade. Okay, that is not us, that is the state, the organization, the facts organization there. But just to give you a little background there, we do spelling bee, speech. We do a writing competition that is here in school, in the classroom. I mentioned music and art already, and all of those things, if you are a first through fifth grade parent, you will be getting emails from me about those things. And so I look forward to helping your child get to express the talent that the Lord gave them. I mean, how many amazing ways do we have to show the Lord's blessings on us by competition? So, see you guys later.
My last special visitor, and then I promise I will start talking. Even though some of you can probably recite my presentation already by this time because you've been here for so long. But I do want to introduce, this is Mrs. Michelle Salgado. She is the president of our PTO. She has had 2 kids come through Westwood from K2, and her youngest just graduated last year. But a lot of you have asked, how can I get involved? And this is definitely a way for you to partner up with us as a school and be able to be involved as part of your child's education. So Mrs. Salgado.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the orientation. I'm so excited this year. Like Mrs. Ross said, my youngest graduated last year. And when we ended up saying, you know what, let's do one more year as PTO director, I was like, yes, let's do it. I love what we do as a PTO. And we help the school with so many different things, little things like maybe honor roll celebrations, especially at this grade level. We do honor roll celebrations. Every student that makes the honor roll has a special moment after that quarter where we do sometimes we do ice cream, sometimes we'll do cookies, but we like to celebrate them. So this is a great age for doing things like that. Another great thing that we do, which is a huge part of what we do, is our spaghetti supper. If anybody here is new, I really, really encourage you this year to come out to Spaghetti Supper. And Mrs. Ross, is it November 2nd, finally? Oh, I've lost track of so many things, but yes, November 8th. But basically, this is a huge event that the school has been putting on for so many years. She said, my kids went to school here. I came to school here. My husband came to school here. So I've been going to Spaghetti Supper since I was a kid. So it's a great night. We have rides, we have a carnival, we have obviously spaghetti. We do a lot of great fun activities that night, and it's a big fundraiser. And it's the funds for that event go towards the teachers' conference. So I always like to say, you know those days in October that we have off and we get to go like to Disney or things that we don't normally get to do on these really random days in October? Those days the teachers are at a conference. Spaghetti Supper pays for that. And it's a continuing education conference. So, like I said, a lot of different fun activities that we like to do throughout the year. Probably in the next week or two, we'll send out an email with membership information, with our first meeting. We try not to have too many meetings because I know everybody's busy. But even if you can't make it to a meeting, I really encourage you to join and be part of it, even if it's just to give us your feedback, even if it's just to just come to our meetings and just meet us. We have a lot of fun and we really do enjoy it. So I welcome you all, and thank you very much.
Michelle didn't know what to do this year because it was the first year in a long time that she had nobody to bring for the first day of school. So she just walked around and helped anybody else that needed, because she was like, I just feel like I need to be here on the first day of school. So she did come and support as the president of the PTO to help any moms or kids that needed some additional hugs to get into the classroom. She was there with open arms to hug anybody that needed some of that support this Friday. So thank you very much for that. So without further ado, I do want to go ahead and get started on our presentation. What does our typical day of school look like? We have a Bible daily, except on Mondays we go to chapel. We do have various chapel speakers, which are our pastors, that do speak to the children, and then our teachers also take part in doing at least one chapel lesson a year. We also have their daily academic classes sprinkled. On top of that, we do have what we call activity classes. They do art, Spanish, PE, computers, band for 5th grade. That's a very interesting year. Those 5th grade parents who have just learned what it's like to have a future trumpeter practicing daily in your house. Congratulations. I'd invest in earplugs for the first few months because it's going to be rough. But they get better, I promise you, they do get better. Library and our STEM lab. So this is an activity that they do weekly. They do PE twice a week with Coach T as well. So we do give the kids a lot to do academically, but we also give them a lot to do as far as activities with music, with art, and just express those other creative juices that they have, as we call it. How can you get a hold of us? We use Class Dojo. I know some of you are very familiar with Class Dojo, and those of you that are not, that is our main tool of communication. It's very convenient because it's on your phone. So instead of worrying about getting another chat group or having to check email, the teachers can directly communicate with you through Class Dojo, and you can do the same with them, especially maybe your child's sick in the morning. Instead of having to worry about writing a note and putting it in the book bag 2 days later and hopefully it gets to the teacher, you can just Dojo the teacher and just let them know that your son or daughter is sick, and they can go ahead and document that on our system, and it's taken care of. You don't have to worry about sending a note in additionally. As well, we use it to give you guys different kinds of announcements. If you see, most of the time when I will post will be some kind of announcement, a reminder, or something maybe super interesting that happened that day in school, so you guys can see it on the school page. Besides that, that will be mainly your point of communication between your child's teacher and yourself. We also have the Westwood Christian app. If you haven't had a chance to download it yet, I highly suggest that you do. It's in the App Store. That's what the little tile looks like, but this is like a one-stop shop. You'll be able to have the lunch menu is there. You can see your child's grades there. You can get access to our Warrior Wear store as well. It's a direct link to the uniform store. So everything you can possibly need, it's right there, and you can just one simple click and it'll actually redirect you to wherever it needs to go. So if you haven't downloaded the Westwood app, I highly recommend that you do, because it's gonna save you a lot of time. As we always want to do, safety and security is one of our top priorities here. Just like you, my two most precious gifts attend school here, and I want to make sure that they are in the safest environment possible. What does that mean? We do have a police officer, a Miami-Dade police officer, daily here on campus, and they patrol the campus from 7:30 when we start until we finish dismissing at about 3:30. You have seen them out in 120th helping us with traffic as well in the afternoon pickup line. But this is very important. It's not the same officer every day, but it is a pattern. So most of the time, the same guy comes every Monday, every Tuesday, and so on. And it's very beneficial because those officers get to know our school, the heartbeat of our school, and they get to know the ins and outs of our school. So this is a huge security priority for us, and we're very happy to have members of the police force here in Miami here at our school. We do lock the gates and the buildings. Gate 4, which is that main drive that you come in, that one closes at about 8:10. That gate closes, and the only way onto our campus is through the preschool in Gate 3. So if you do need to get onto the campus after 8:10, you do have to go through Gate 3, which is our preschool, and you'll have to check in there with Mrs. Navarro, who will give you a pass to then go ahead and proceed to whatever building that you need to go to. Please don't get mad at us when we ask you for either ID or to wear the sticker, or my teachers have been trained, if you don't see a pass, you need to ask, because we just want to make sure that we know who is coming on our campus. Unfortunately, we live in a day and age that we just can't assume that everybody is good. So don't be upset at us if we do ask. I always tell my teachers, I'd rather them get mad at you because you're asking than us not asking and something tragic happens. So we are going to ask if you are on campus during those closed hours and you don't have an ID or some kind of visitor's badge on. How do you get it? You go in through Gate 3, where Mrs. Navarro can go ahead and provide you that visitor ID for you. The IDs for the students, you will see that we do not send our elementary IDs home. That's to save you $5 every time we lose it, or every time it gets lost at home. So the teachers do collect it at the end of the day, and the students do get their ID badge as soon as they come in the mornings. And we don't send it home just to save ourselves from lost IDs throughout the year. But if it somehow does make it home and it does get lost, we do have to purchase new ones in the business office for $5. My son's most favorite subject here is lunch. So lunch is still provided through Promise Catering. We did have a small increase this year. You see the prices up there. She does still offer the a la carte options. The lunch menu is always found on our school website. If you haven't had a chance to communicate with Promise Catering, they are very customer service driven, and they will work with you with different dietary needs or any kind of special requests that you may have. All you have to do is contact them directly, and they will be more than happy to work with you when it comes to any special restrictions or dietary needs that you may have. Our school dress code, I am happy to say we did switch uniform companies, and although it has not been perfect, we're getting there. There are little speed bumps, just like with any new partnership. Think about it as a marriage. We've just started our marriage with Reese Brothers, and it's still not in the honeymoon phase. I think we're gonna get there, but they are more than happy to work with us. So I do ask you, if you do have any kind of issues, just reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to communicate with them as well. And they have assured us that we're gonna have a great relationship, and I know that we are. So I just urge you guys, just communicate with us if there's any kind of issues regarding uniforms. But just so you guys can see, we did add navy blue pants for the girls this year. So that is another option that the girls have. So they have the skirts, the shorts, and the navy blue pants. The boys have the pants and the shorts like they've always had. And everybody does have the yellow and blue polos. So that's just a quick sample of what our uniforms look like here in the elementary. Our spirit shirts are the shirts that we wear every Friday. and on field trips. These are our required shirts that we do ask our children to have when they go on field trips. It's not required to wear on Fridays. They can choose to do so. We did that just so you don't pay $15, $20 for a shirt that you use twice. We were like, let's see how many times we can get it used, throughout the year. So we wear them every Friday, and they must be purchased for field trips. For parents, in order for you to go on the field trip, you also have to have a spirit shirt as well, and that is purchased through our Warrior Wear store. And again, that all goes down to security. We like to know who is with us, so by having all the parents wear the same shirt, we can easily point out somebody who is not with our group and is not supposed to be with our group when we're out and about in the city. The Warrior Wear store is found on the app, but that is where you can find sweatshirts, jackets, the spirit shirts. All of that can be purchased on the Warrior Wear website. There's also additional accessories and stuff if you wish to accessorize yourself with Warrior gear. Is there any 65th anniversary special stuff going up there or no? Unlimited or A-limited? Oh, the limited sweatshirt, okay. Oh, cool. So stay tuned. Apparently there's some hot limited items coming up soon. Oh, and backpacks. So just in case you were wondering, are we gonna embroider them like Pottery Barn? No. I like my stuff embroidered like Pottery Barn, just fine. Oh, awesome, customized, there you go. So let's talk about something that I know I've gotten some eye rolls these last couple of days, elementary drop-off. First, be patient with us for drop-off and pickup. You guys are remembering how awesome we were last year at the end of the year. That's why you feel like now it's like there's so many people, you guys don't know what you're doing, it's taking so long. That's because you guys are remembering how we ended, not how we started. So these first couple of weeks are always rough. Give us time, give parents time to figure out where they want to park in the mornings, where their kid's classroom is in the morning. Once they get that down, I promise you that line will move a lot faster, and the same thing in the afternoon. But in the morning, you can drop off various ways. If you are in 2nd through 5th, you can drop off through gate 4, kind of like a drop-off line at McDonald's. You can drive up to right over here where the library and the overhang used to meet, and you can drop off the child there and they can just walk in. There's definitely always staff standing around. Most of the time I'm at the blue doors right over here, so the child can walk in and up into their classroom. You can also park as well and walk them up to the blue doors in this building, and then if you are in the other building, you can either park in the front in the preschool, or you can park back here and wander our beautiful campus and also drop them off at their classroom doors as well. The doors for the kids close, they're considered late after 8:10. So after 8:10, you'll see this gate will close, so you'll have to go through the front, or in the front building, the teachers will close their glass doors at 8:10, and I have asked them to not let you in. So please don't keep knocking if it's past 8:10, because they have been told you cannot open that door after 8:10. They have to go up to the front, because then we do have to mark you tardy in our tardy book, which is located up in the front. So if you can help us out with that. For our dismissal, and I promise this is gonna get good. Kinder and first, you guys are gonna go through gate 3, because you do have to walk up to your child's classroom to pick them up. If you are in 2nd through 5th, you can drive down the main drive. Once Mrs. Broadfield recognizes your car, which will only take her maybe another week or so, once she sees you driving down 120th, she's calling your child down. And once that happens, Ms. Pickard eventually ends up memorizing your number. So once she's hearing the name, Ms. Pickard's punching in the number, and we are a well-oiled machine. So those of you that have been with me before know that there's oftentimes by 3:20, there is not a line anywhere near 120th. And we ask our parents, if you don't want to have a line, if you get in line 3:15, 3:16, I promise you can sail right in with no line, no waiting. Now, it's not the case right now because everybody is new. So please help us out. I promise you it's gonna get better. Mrs. Broadfield and I, we kind of love to see how much time we can do it in and shave off time. And she came running to me at the end of dismissal today, and she goes, we knocked off 6 minutes from Friday. So already from Friday to today, we were able to knock off 6 minutes. So let's see how good we can do tomorrow. But please be patient with us. I promise you we're gonna get quicker. It's just this first little time that we're trying to know your car, remember your number, but we'll get it flowing before you know it. I do wanna go ahead and talk about 2 early release days. Our early release, when we talk about early release, those are our last Wednesday of the month that we get out at 2:15. And I have a list of all the dates in the next slide so you guys can take a picture. I'll also send those home as well so you have them. But early release happens at 2:15 on the last Wednesday of the month. And then our half days, those only occur so often throughout the school year. Our first one, I believe, is in October, at the end of the grading period, I think is our first one, and that's an 11:15 dismissal. So yes, it's early. Yes, you drop them off like 3 hours before, and we're going to give them back to you 3 hours later. But it's a good day. The kids a lot of times have a fun activity or something to do in their class that day just because it is such a short day. But that is the difference between early release and a half-day dismissal. So these are our early release Wednesday dates if you want to take a quick picture of that. That's always going to happen the last Wednesday of the month. And then I will always send you a reminder on Dojo. I'll do it on Monday. Just a reminder, this Wednesday is early release. And then I will do it again the morning of. Just a reminder, today is early release. Because I'm a mom too, and there's so many things to think about. So anytime I can help remind, or somebody can help and remind me of something, I am very grateful. So I have set a reminder to remind you guys about the early release days. So hopefully I can get that underway and help you guys out with that. But let's see. Those are early release. And then I do want to hit up on a couple of our after-school activities and then bring up somebody who has been part of our after-school program now for the last 6 years. We do have various after-school activities. We have Kid Fit Sports. We have Evolve that did cheerleading and art last year. We have our chess club coming back. I was able to speak with Bricks for Kids, and she does have a table in the back to my left that if you want more information. We used to work with Bricks for Kids a couple years ago, and I am so happy to be able to partner back up with them. They work with robotics, they work with Legos, they do a lot of coding, and they're also going to be here after school offering their classes to our students for those who are interested. And so she has information in the back on the left if you want to see her after we dismiss regarding to get information about that. But I do want to bring up Coach Gio, who has been a part of our after-school program now for the last 6 years, so he can give you a little bit more information about Kid Fit.
Come on, clap it up, clap it up. Man, wow. Well, first and foremost, I just want to go ahead and say thank you, Ms. Ross. Thank you to Westwood Christian as a student body, Ms. Salermo, Mr. Mendez, Mr. Thompson. I just want to honor you guys and say thank you. For the past 5 years now, we've had the honor and the privilege of being here and providing after-school sports programs here at Westwood. We've gotten to know different families, we've gotten to work with different kids of all ages and all personalities. As you know, we care about 3 things: teaching kids how to master fundamentals, build their confidence, and then give them a safe space to be able to win. This year, we're going to be offering something a little different. We're going to be sending you guys home, as well as students, with flyers, in which I'll go ahead and show you. Everyone will receive 3 different options this year. You have a monthly rate of $180 per month, having your student join us 4 times per week. You also have the option of paying $150 per month twice a week, or $75 per month once a week. We've never done this before. We want to give convenience to all of our students to be able to have an opportunity to be a part of our sports programs. We really want to impact kids on the field and have fun with them, teaching them how to master the fundamentals of sports in general. I think the elementary school years is all about having fun and just teaching them the fundamentals of how to play sports. We have a great team of coaches this year, myself, Coach Braden, Coach T, Coach Sammy, and we're going to have a great year with a lot of great activities planned. Every year, We like to have pizza parties. We do Christmas raffle giveaways, Thanksgiving activities, and just all-inclusive end-of-year water balloon battles as well. So that being said, our back-to-school rate is going to be $100 for the first 2 weeks to give parents a chance to get settled in, and also to give students an opportunity to know what we do and what we're all about. It starts August 19th, and it'll be from the 19th to the 29th. If this is something you guys are interested in, by all means, I would love to work with your kids, and we're just so thankful and appreciative to have another year here. To give you some background about myself, I'm a believer in Christ. I love the Lord. I opened up my own sports training facility. It's called Crossed Athletics, and it's a space where I combine both my passions, my love for the Lord and my love for basketball in particular. Sports and the Lord are two things that hold near and dear to my heart, and working with the youth and planting those seeds as they develop into young men and women is also something I enjoy doing. Besides Kid Fit Sports, we have another great program that's here that we're going to be rolling out. It's our tennis classes. This is what the flyer will look like. Tennis classes will be every Wednesday from 3:15 to 4:15, and that'll be $150 per month, month to month. Besides that, we have a preschool program, and we also have something else that we're in the works directly for girls. You know, there's a lot of girls that I've seen come in and out of Kid Fit Sports, and I notice a lot of the boys tend to have a great time, and they love it. It's all boys, boys, boys. But I'm planning with Miss Ross to see if we could have something that's geared specifically towards fitness and specifically towards the girls, led by a female coach who's also built in the faith around Jesus. So this is something you're interested in. This is something you'd love for your kids to be a part of. Get to know me, get to know my team. We would love to get to know you guys, be more relational. And thank you so much for the opportunity. Go Kid Fit. Let's go.
So some of you did, if you already looked at your email, you did receive those flyers this afternoon. So he does have a way for you to get a hold of him through on that flyer. You can go ahead and see how to get a hold of him. And I am very excited as we've been talking for something with the girls. I was a student athlete here at Westwood. I also came to Westwood Christian. And so athletics for the girls, it's also something that's very dear and near to my heart. So when he started to talk to me about it, I said, let's sit down and explore how we can make sports more attainable for the girls now in elementary before they enter those middle school years and get to play for the school. So we'll let you know when we're ready. We're getting there. But that is Coach G. Oops, I got excited. The last thing I do want to talk about before I show you a neat feature that I just learned about is the hurricanes. I know we don't like to talk about it, so I'm going to talk about it very briefly. We live in South Florida, and I swear to you, as soon as the school year started, all of a sudden my little Max Tracker app started becoming alive and sending me updates of all the things that are growing out there in the Atlantic. So it is something that we do have to deal with, but I want you to know here we are always watching the storm. We're always up to date as to what's happening, but we are not going to be on Miami-Dade County Schools timeline. When they have to close down the school, they are talking about hundreds of schools, thousands of employees, and so sometimes they have to make preparations longer, and it takes them longer to make those hurricane preparations. So they might close their schools down 2 to 3 days before us. That's not because we are being careless. The reason that we don't do it is because we don't have to worry about that. We have one campus that we can get under control, and we kind of know how long it's going to take us to do that. We promise that we will never put your lives in peril, nor the lives of our staff in peril. We will close when we know that it's time to close, but we will not be always on the same timeline as Miami-Dade County Public School. How do we get a hold of you? If we're going to close, you will receive a parent alert, which most of the time will come on your phone as a text that will give you, the school is closing such and such date. And the same applies for reopening. Because again, we're only one school, we do not have to worry about the whole county being safe, all the schools being safe in order for us to reopen. So once we know that Westwood Christian is safe to reopen after any kind of storm, we will go ahead and send the same alert out. We will get a hold of you, whatever means possible, cell phone, email, smoke signals if we have to. I promise you will know that we are open when Westwood Christian is back to opening after any kind of storm. So that is our hurricane information. The last thing I wanted to show you is something that was shown to me this afternoon and I thought was pretty neat. We have a lot of things going on. is there open house? Is there an after-school activity? What event? When's the spaghetti supper? There's so many things. So how can we keep it all straight? And this is a quick, like step-by-step. If you go to our website and you go under resources and you go to where it says calendar and you press that button, you will see the calendar for Westwood Christian, and you'll notice they're color-coded. So the red is our master calendar, and I believe the blue is elementary, the yellow is preschool, and then the darker blue is for middle high. And you can actually click on whatever division you are looking for, and it will actually bring you all of those events just for that division. You also have the option to add it to your own personal calendar as well. If you click on the bottom where it says add to personal calendar, they will go ahead and it will upload into your Google Calendar, I believe, your Apple Calendar as well, which this is great. So you don't have to worry about, writing things down and fearing that you're forgetting something. This is a way that you can kind of integrate your life with Westwood and make sure that you do not miss any of our events. What I'm going to do with this is I'll probably just go ahead and send you this PDF, and I'll send it to you so you can follow the steps if you didn't get a chance to do it right now. But that way you can go ahead and do it on your own. But it's a great time saver. I did it on mine when I got the flyer, and I was like, this is amazing. I wish somebody would have shown me this last year. But it is a great tool that you can have at your disposal. So without further ado, I am going to release you guys to your child's classroom, but I do have a couple of changes as far as location. Third grade parents, you are actually going to stay here in the gym because there are a lot of you. So you will be staying here in the gym. Ms. Picker, do you want them on this side, in the middle? All right, I'm going to make a choice. So third grade parents, if you'll come and sit over here once we are dismissed, Ms. Pickard and Ms. Sablon will go ahead and do their orientation information for you on this side. If you are in first grade, you're not going to go to your child's classroom. You're going to go to our chapel. So if you're in Ms. McVeigh, Ms. Perez, or Mrs. Golindano, you guys will be in the chapel. The rest of you will be able to go up to your child's classroom to hear the teachers. I guarantee you they will probably speak fast because if it's still warm in there, they're going to want to get out of there as soon as possible. So it's not warm in there? It's good? Oh, I want to give a shout out to our awesome maintenance man who made sure we had a cool open house today. So never mind, they're going to keep you for a long time because now the air is working, so good luck. But again, I want to thank you so much for choosing Westwood Christian School and allowing us to partner up with you for your child's education. You are dismissed.